High school rankings for Oregon have just been released for the 2023-2024 year, and there's some dramatic changes. So if you're thinking about buying a home in Oregon, specifically the Portland metropolitan area, this video is going to be for you. Even if you don't have kids, you might understand that home values are often very highly correlated with being in school districts that are highly ranked. So if you're somebody that just simply wants to feel confident that you can buy a home in an area that's going to appreciate at a high or higher rate, you won't want to miss this video. Got a quick one for you today. All that starts now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Living in Oregon. Seth Marchant with Home Team Brokers here. So this article right here, if you do a Google search for Oregon high school best schools or anything to that effect, usually the U.S. News and World Report is going to come up first. They recently released their rankings, and a lot of people noticed, I've seen a lot of people talking about this, a lot of people noticed that a lot of Portland metropolitan schools were conspicuously missing from the list that had traditionally been on this list. Your first school is in Beaverton, which is in the Portland metro area over on the west side, but the number 2 ranked school is South Eugene High School. Eugene's about 2 hours south of Portland. They usually have great athletics there too, usually showing up at state for a lot of the athletics. Definitely a great school. Just below that is Woodburn, just south of Portland. I don't recall seeing Woodburn up that high anytime recently. And then we get to Lincoln High School, which is over on the west side of Portland, right near downtown by Providence Park, where the Oregon Timbers play. Then we've got South Salem High School. Cleveland High School, had a lot of family that went to Cleveland High School. Salem's about 30 minutes south of Portland. Cleveland's over in the southeast part of Portland. Southridge is over in Beaverton. But just right here, getting into the top 10, there's a couple of schools that normally would be in the top 10. So if you're familiar with these things, you're probably already noticing that there's a couple of schools that consistently year over year are in the top 10 that are already missing. Bandon, this is a big surprise actually, over on the coast. Usually don't have too many schools on the Oregon coast that are very highly rated. This is on the south coast, just south of Coos Bay. We've got Tualatin, which is in Washington County in the Portland metro area, and then number 10, Imbler School District, number 10 in the school. This is not a school that I'm familiar with seeing. This is out east. You can see the enrollment there. Very, very small school. So what are some of the top schools that we typically see that are missing from this list? Well, I don't know if you can find it on the actual website for U.S. News, but I use a website, Web Archive, to look at their rankings from a year ago. Still number 1 with International School of Beaverton. South Eugene still showing up at number 2, but West Linn, that's one of the schools that you would commonly see in the top 10 or even the top 5 schools for the state of Oregon. And again, in just a moment, I'm going to get to the reason why that school and these schools, Lakeridge High School, Lake Oswego High School, are not showing up in these rankings for this year. In fact, they're way down the list, too far down the list to even scroll down through. Corbett's going to be out east up the gorge, just east of Troutdale. And then Wilsonville. Wilsonville is one that typically ranks in the top 10. So those 4 right there, Wilsonville, Lake Oswego, Lakeridge, which is in Lake Oswego, and West Linn, those 4 schools are almost always in the top 10, where this year they've dropped dramatically. So what happened? Well, according to the Lake Oswego Review, this report says Lake Oswego High School sees significant drop in U.S. News and World Report rankings. So why is that? West Linn, Wilsonville, and Lake Oswego High School saw a significant drop when U.S. News and World Report published its annual rankings on August 29th. West Linn High School, which was ranked number 3, like we just looked at from the previous year, among Oregon public high schools in 2022, dropped to number 19 in 2023. Wilsonville High School also saw a significant drop, going from number 7 to number 28 in this year's ranking. So what's going on? Lake Oswego High School dropped from number 5 in 2022 to number 27, and then Lakeridge slipped 32 spots from number 4 to number 36. If you followed school rankings, you probably haven't seen a dramatic shakeup like that in the past. So the lower rankings caused some controversy among community members in West Linn, Wilsonville School District. And the West Linn, Wilsonville School District put out a statement regarding the rankings on September 7th. I've been seeing this a lot online. A lot of people have shared the email that the West Linn, Wilsonville School District sent to people. So what do they say? So in West Linn, Wilsonville is among the districts contesting the significant changes to the rankings because the Oregon Department of Education did not submit advanced placement scores to U.S. News and World Report. The school district has learned that the Oregon Department of Education failed to submit Oregon Advanced Placement AP scores to the U.S. News and World Report this year, which is a significant component of the rating system. As West Linn and Wilsonville high schools are both high-achieving AP schools, this oversight dramatically impacted the rankings each school received, the district said in its statement by email. District Director of Communications, Andrew Kilstrom, said the district reached out to Lake Oswego School District, which experienced similar drop-offs in rankings. Both districts have appealed to the U.S. News and World Report and the ODE to submit the AP testing, ODE being Oregon Department of Education, to submit the AP testing scores so the rankings can be adjusted. We're hopeful that these AP scores are able to be shared with the U.S. News and World Report and that they're able to update their rankings to reflect the full breadth of methodology that they use. AP or IB testing is, if you look at the methodology, a big component of college and career readiness category they rely heavily on for those scores. So we're hopeful they'll be updated, said Kilstrom. According to U.S. News and World Report, the methodology for its national high school rankings is divided into 5 categories: college readiness, college curriculum breadth, state assessment proficiency, state assessment performance, and graduation rates. Both the college readiness and college curriculum breadth categories use AP test scores as factors and account for about 40% of the rankings. So that shows us right there, 40%. That's a big chunk. That's a reason why these schools have dropped dramatically, because their AP test scores, as we just read, were not included in the rankings. This article does go on to say, as we've said, there's no real impact on our district or students or anything like that, but at the same time, the sense of pride for community members, for students, for staff, and we would love it to be as accurate as possible. That's our hope, said Kilstrom. Now, that's probably pretty generous, because again, if you do a Google search, for most people, this is going to come up first. Niche.com comes up second. A lot of people are going to base where they move to, maybe base investment properties on where some of the top-ranked schools are. So it might be a little bit generous to say that that there's no real impact from these ratings. I have to imagine there's at least a little tiny bit of an impact. So I'd imagine some people are going to fight fairly hard to get that updated. As of September 12th, the Oregon Department of Education has yet to release a statement regarding the high school rankings. So I'll keep you updated on that. If you're wondering where those schools are at, if you're not familiar with Portland and the metropolitan area, Portland's a tri-county area. You have Multnomah County, which is where Portland is, Washington County over on the west side, and then Clackamas County is a very, very large county comprising a lot of the east side, but also a little bit creeps over to the west side as well. So Lake Oswego High School, just going to be north of the lake in Lake Oswego, maybe 10 minutes south of Portland. Lakeridge High School is going to be on the south side of the lake. And then if you continue to move south down here towards West Linn, that's where you'll find West Linn High School. And then beyond that, Wilsonville is right down here just to the southwest of West Linn. So it's really important to note that these rankings are not really going to be that accurate. Not to take anything away from like Woodburn or like Bandon or the Ambler Charter School out east that you might not see typically in the top 10. But if this is something that's really important to you, like it is for so many people that have kids, you're going to want to know what the real list is going to look like if you consider all of the data. Now, if you go to the second search that typically comes up for people, niche.com, you're going to see that I don't think that they've updated this yet from this year, or they did include the AP test scores. So you're going to find a lot of what you would see traditionally in the past with Lake Oswego and Lakeridge right up there at the top, West Linn following right behind it, and then not too far behind that, Wilsonville High School. But if you want this list, because like I said, I pulled this from, I used a web archive to see this list from last year. If you want this list, I can send it to you. You can email us, you can call us, you can text us. If you want to hit that QR code that you see, if you're watching this from TV, that'll take you to our website where you can find all of our contact information. Just get in touch with us and say, hey, send me the list of top high schools from last year. so I can see something that has actually a list with the AP scores included. And if you're somebody that's thinking about taking the next steps, if you're thinking about moving here, if you have questions about moving to Oregon, I'm a licensed broker in the state of Oregon. I've helped a lot of people relocate here. I lived here my entire life, so I know it very well. You can call, text, email, same thing. You can also find the contact information in the description of this video. There's also a link to our calendar if you want to schedule a Zoom call, which is typically best for people coming from outside of the state. A lot of people like to meet us with a Zoom call first. And if you want to see more videos about what it's like to live in Oregon, we've got over 100 videos on our channel. A lot of those videos are showing you the area, showing you what areas are like, driving footage, drone footage, taking you through neighborhoods. We do tend to cover things like schools and crime because that's important to a lot of people. A lot of people ask about that. In fact, I was going to show you this as well. This is a crime map from OregonLive.com, which is the Oregonian, which is the biggest newspaper in the state of Oregon. And a lot of people that are worried about school rankings, of course, that have kids are oftentimes interested in crime. We actually have a couple videos on that. If you want to check out one of our videos on crime, you can watch that here. So if you want to see more content like this, make sure and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, take care, everyone.